Senator Gary Peters was one of the 13 people in the Oval Office today when the president and the vice president met with Chuck Schumer and the 10 Senate committee chairs. Joining us now to tell us everything that happened in that meeting is Senator Gary Peters, chairman of the Senate Homeland Security and Government Affairs Committee. Mr. Chairman, thank you very much for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it. Okay, so you all sat down and tell us everything everyone said.
Well, it was a wonderful discussion. It was great to be there with President Biden, Vice President Harris, to talk about how important this COVID relief package is to get this country back on its feet, to get through this COVID crisis as quickly as we possibly can. Clearly, the previous administration mismanaged this whole thing in a massive way. We're paying the price for that. Now it's time for us to step up, do what is necessary to make sure that families can keep food on the table, a roof over their head, that our small businesses can survive. The only way we get an economy really up and running like all of us would like is we have to make sure small businesses are there to drive that when it goes forward. But we also have to deal with the public health aspects and get vaccines in as many arms as we possibly can and as quickly as possible. That's certainly what I talked about through Homeland Security and FEMA. The federal emergency management folks need to really take charge of this in a national way. We had under the previous administration no real significant national plan. It was really about just letting every state do their own thing without any coordination. And that's not how you deal with a national emergency and a national crisis. It takes national federal leadership. FEMA needs to step up to do that. We're going to be appropriating resources to help state and local governments start putting the capacity in place to process people as quickly and as efficiently as possible, and making sure there's certainty as to where the vaccines are so that plans can be made. Those things did not happen with the previous administration. We're going to make sure it happens now going forward, and we're putting in the resources to back that up.
A lot of powerful people in the Oval Office today, but the most powerful person who wasn't there is Senator Joe Manchin, who has, in effect, a deciding vote here in order to get the Democrats to 50 votes in the Senate so that the vice president can break the tie. He seems to be saying that he said on Morning Joe this morning, if it's 1.9 trillion, so be it, which is the most positive thing I've heard him say about that total number that you're talking about. He does have some issues with raising the minimum wage the way you want to. But when he was asked about the bipartisan process, which he stresses that he wants to have, he seemed to be saying that the bipartisan process means Republicans will be allowed to offer amendments on the Senate floor. Is that what the bipartisan process means to you, and is that what it's going to be?
Certainly there may be that possibility. Tomorrow, as we deal with a budget resolution, people can put amendments forward. So we will be debating a number of amendments tomorrow. But I think it's important to step back. When folks talk about working together in a bipartisan way and bringing people together, let's not forget that this package is incredibly popular with the American people. People know that this relief is absolutely essential for their lives, for their future, for us to get through this pandemic. You know, it shows a vast majority of Democrats clearly support it, but even a majority of Republicans out across the country, everyday Republicans support it. We have mayors in my state in Michigan. I have Republican mayors that are saying, pass this relief, we need it. It's unfortunate that I've got colleagues in the Senate and folks in the House that are Republicans that don't support it. But if they talk to their constituents back in their states and in their local communities, they will find that people understand how important it is to get this passed, to get it passed quickly, and how we have to be bold if we're going to get through this pandemic the way we need to.
Reports indicate that President Biden's meeting, which was his first meeting with senators, those 10 Republican senators, ended with him saying to them, we're very far apart, and I didn't see anything here that's going to bring us together. Is that what the president told you about that meeting?
He didn't speak about that in those terms, but clearly there is a distance. If you look at the proposal that the Republicans put forward, substantially less. It isn't what is going to be necessary to help folks who are struggling now and to get the economy going. You know, we have over 120 economists from all sorts of persuasions that are saying it's time to be bold. We can't possibly get through this pandemic if we don't take significant action going forward. And that's what the president is behind. The president is saying we've got to get this done right. We've seen the mismanagement in the past months. We're paying a very dear price for the mismanagement from the Trump administration. It's time to get it right, and that means we have to take significant action. The president is certainly firm on that position, and we all agreed as we were in that meeting that now is clearly the time that we have to step up and get through this pandemic, and that requires being bold and decisive.
Senator Gary Peters, thank you very much for joining us in what is your first appearance on this program as a Senate committee chairman of the Homeland Security Committee. Really appreciate you joining us.
Great to be with you.